Moonblood, The Vow of Shadows, a dark supernatural romance tale. The first time Alara Winter saw him, it wasn't the storm that terrified her. It was the way he stood perfectly still in the middle of the abandoned bridge, as if the rain itself was afraid to touch him. Alara wasn't the type who believed in supernatural stories from her small mountain town, T17. She cared more about escaping Hollow Ridge than listening to old women whisper about shadow drinkers and blood guardians. But that night, something inside her chest tightened, a warning or a calling. Chapter 1. The Bridge of Dead Echoes. The figure turned his head, slowly, the way predators do when they hear prey breathing. His eyes weren't red, weren't gold. They were opaque silver, like frozen mercury. They didn't reflect the world, they absorbed it. Você neo deveria estar aqui, he said, voice soft but edged with something ancient. Alara swallowed. And you should? At 3 a.m.? In a storm. He didn't answer. Instead, he stepped forward, and the world behind him bent, as if a ripple of darkness followed his body. Just for a fraction of a second, Alara blinked. The bridge was normal again. Go home, Alara. He whispered that he knew her name. She stumbled back, but before she could ask anything, lightning cracked overhead, and he was gone. No footsteps, no sound. Nothing but the echo of his voice trapped between the mountains. Chapter 2. The boy who didn't cast a shadow the next day at school. Rumors spread like wildfire. A new student. Tall, strange, unreachable. When Alara saw him walk into class, she felt her blood turn cold. It was him. The boy from the bridge. He didn't look at anyone. Not because he was arrogant, but because he seemed afraid of what would happen if he did. When the sun passed across his desk, Alara noticed something impossible. The light touched him, but he cast no shadow. She gasped quietly. His head snapped toward her, silver eyes locking on hers like chains. He looked furious. Not at her, but at himself. A tea break. He cornered her behind the old gym. You saw too much, he said. Alara didn't run. Then explain it. He hesitated, a rare crack in his cold facade. I can't. It's forbidden. By who? He looked up at the forest, at the mountains, as if expecting something to emerge from the treetops. By the ones who own the night. Chapter 3. The Curse of the Moonblood. When he finally told her the truth, it wasn't romantic. It wasn't beautiful. It was horrifying. His name was Kale Draven, a Moonblood, descendant of a cursed lineage older than vampires, older than werewolves, older than mankind. Moonbloods weren't undead. They were half-shadow beings, born from an ancient pact between a forgotten king and the darkness itself. They didn't drink blood to survive. They drank fear. The fear their touch awakened in humans. But Kale was different. He refused the curse. He starved himself, holding the darkness inside him like a chained beast. You don't understand what I am, he said. When I lose control, every shadow in a mile radius answers to me. Alara stepped closer. She felt the air around him tremble, like a held breath about to break. Then don't lose control, she said softly. I'm not afraid of you. His lips parted, and for the first time, she saw fear in his eyes. You should be. Chapter 4. The night of the red eclipse. When the red eclipse approached, a celestial event that strengthened Moonbloods, Kale vanished. The town began to feel strange. Dogs barked at empty corners. Children woke screaming about walking shadows. Something ancient moved beneath Hollow Ridge. Then Alara found Kale on the same bridge where they first met. But he wasn't alone. 6 figures stood behind him. Their bodies human, their shadows not. The shadows moved independently, crawling, twisting, whispering. Kale's own shadow stretched across the entire bridge like a living creature. Alara, he said, breath ragged. You need to leave. Now. Not without you. The eldest Moonblood stepped forward, smile thin and cruel. She is your weakness, he whispered. And tonight, weaknesses die. Kale's body shook, not out of fear, but because the darkness inside him was breaking free. No, he growled. You will not touch her. His shadow exploded outward, feral, colossal, a beast of living night. The other Moonbloods recoiled, but Kale dropped to his knees, gasping. It's consuming me, he choked. "Run, please." Alara grabbed his face between her hands. "I'm not leaving you." And then something happened, something no Moonblood legend had ever recorded. Her touch made his monstrous shadow shiver shrink, bend to her presence. "Impossible," the Moonblood elder hissed, but it wasn't, because Kale's curse had a counterpart. A prophecy lost to time that a Moonblood's darkness could be tamed only by a heart chosen by the night itself. Alara was that heart. Chapter 5. The Vow of Shadows. When the Moonbloods attacked, Alara didn't run. Kale, half-conscious, reached for her hand, and there, shadows fused. For the first time in centuries, a Moonblood wasn't a monster. He was a weapon, a guardian, a storm of darkness unleashed not to kill, but to protect. Together, they fought like a single force, light and shadow intertwined. When the Elder fell, his shadow evaporating into dust, the remaining Moonbloods fled into the mountains. Kale collapsed into Alara's arms. "You saved me?" he whispered. "No," she murmured. "We saved each other." His silver eyes softened, and under the bleeding eclipse, he made a vow no Moonblood had ever spoken. "From this night on, your shadow is mine, and mine is yours." Their bond, forbidden, dangerous, eternal, reshaped the fate of all Moonbloods. And Hollow Ridge would never be the same.